In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to invite people to secure their address on-chain. Now, you might be asking yourself, why go on-chain? Why would I want to put my address, my home title, or my actual home on-chain? Well, today, title ownership is recorded in the county into a centralized system that's vulnerable to hacking and fraud. When you put your property title on-chain, it gets recorded into different nodes, not just one. This makes it impossible to falsify information within the deed, commit fraud, or hack into the system. So what happens after you register your title on-chain? Well, once a homeowner decides to register their title on the blockchain, Propy verifies ownership within the county and automatically records that this deed is now on-chain. For the counties that are not digital, Propy sends paperwork by mail for recording. Now, the property title is recorded both with the county and on the blockchain. This is the safety measure we offer our clients. We offer homeowners an extra layer of security for their property title. On-chain deeds add an extra layer of protection from deed fraud. This is a type of real estate fraud where a scammer steals a homeowner's personal information and uses it to transfer the property's title into their own name. A few examples of that can be, a family friend convinces seniors or vulnerable family members to refinance their homes and then quickly transfer the deed to a third party, making it difficult for the victim to get the home back. Or another example, a scammer buys a property from a deed theft scammer, often becoming a victim themselves. Like, for example, let's say Greg bought a parcel of land in Fairfield, Connecticut from a man who claimed to be the owner, only to find out later that the real property owner was a Long Island doctor who had his land stolen. Or another example, let's say that a forger executes and files a deed and they sign as the actual property owner or personal representative and conveys the title to themselves. This can involve quitclaim deeds, which offer no warranties of the title. Or, a scammer, they might use false information or a phony notary service to complete a transfer of property, often using stolen identities or impersonating property owners. And the last example here is a fraudster steals a homeowner's personal information and uses it to transfer the homeowner's title into their own name, and then tries to resell or rent the property or obtain a home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC, without the true owner's knowledge. Well, how does on-chain deeds actually add an extra layer of protection from that? I'll show you. So when you register your address, your title, or your actual home on the blockchain, it's secured privately on-chain. So once you're on-chain, it will leave traces. You can see the history of when an asset transfer is made. So let's say that your home title or your actual home was on the blockchain. You can see what address transfers that to where. And you can also see the transaction IDs for what might have happened. So if you ever see an unknown transfer, it'll show up in the blockchain ledger. You can also see who the original owner is. Minted is another word for register. So when someone registers their first title on chain, you can see the transaction. And then if this wallet that originally registered it wants to transfer it to a different company or a different wallet, you can see everywhere that goes. The blockchain will show you a trace for each transaction. So if you went to court for any of these cases, if any of this happened to you, and you were to show them the blockchain ledger showing that, hey, this wasn't authorized or whatever it might be, this can help. And I'm not a lawyer or anything, so I don't know like the exact legalities of that, but this is one example of how on-chain can be more secure for your home. Now, we talked earlier in the presentation about how to invite people to receive two benefits. Number one, every time that you invite someone to PropyKeys, you'll receive a free mint each time someone who registered with your link mints their first address. These are a few landmark AI NFTs. This is an opportunity for you to mint rare iconic landmarks around the globe. Like some of these, this is Central Park. This is the White House. This looks like Fort Lauderdale Beach, US Mile 1 Highway. I believe this is Marcus Aurelius. This is the Albert Einstein statue. You can mint so many cool different landmarks around the globe, and that's a rare opportunity that you can have if you invite two people who mint at least one NFT or home address. So you might be asking yourself, well, aside from the free mints and aside from getting access to Landmark AI, what happens if a real owner claims an address that you minted? Well, number one, you'll earn 50 pro tokens if a real owner claims and upgrades an address that you minted to tier 2. So if they put their title on chain, you'll receive 50 pro tokens when they do that. And number two, you will receive $1,000 in pro if a real owner upgrades their property to a real world asset in tier 3. So if you have an address that number one gets upgraded to tier 2 and into tier 3, number one, you're getting 50 pro plus another $1,000 paid out in pro. So let's go through an example. Let's say that you minted 5 of your neighbor addresses and each of them liked the idea of putting their title on chain. If all 5 claim and upgrade their address, you would receive 50 pro per address, totaling 250 pro. And at the current pro price of about $3, that's an extra $750 in your pocket just for 5 neighbors. Now, a tier 3 example, let's say all 5 loved the idea and decided to upgrade their home to tier 3 as a real world asset. You would then receive an additional $1,000 in pro per RWA, totaling $5,000 paid in pro. So between these 5 and these 5, you're looking at whatever the pro price might be. This could be $5,700 or who knows what it can be, but you're earning extra money for helping your friends, helping your neighbors, add an extra layer of security to their home title, to their deed, or their property. So I have a little challenge for you. Do you see how securing your property rights on chain can offer additional layers of protection against fraud? If so, ask your friends and family if they would feel more secure putting their property rights on chain.